Wait for it. Wait for it. No. No, not yet. No. I I guess it's too early to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender magic set. I don't know. It's radio silence. I mean, obviously, Wizards of the Coast has to focus on the upcoming sets, and the next one is Final Fantasy. But I don't understand why other people aren't talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I'm pretty sure that it is going to be the biggest set of the year. And I've never even watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. I had a friend who in the early 2000s kept talking about it and kept insisting that I watch it with him. And I think I watched a couple episodes and it was a little bit too childish for me. And people have told me that after the first or second season or whatever, it gets more mature. But at the time, in the early 2000s, I didn't want to sit through a cartoon TV show. I mean, these days I don't even really watch many cartoon movies. Like the last like Disney-ish type movie cartoon thing that I watched was in the 90s was The Lion King, and that's where it peaked for me. And I've watched all the Toy Story movies, but I'm not that interested in cartoon movies. Into the Spider-Verse is great. And from time to time, there are good animated movies. And some of them look good, but I'm still not that interested in them in any case. So TV shows, movies, I'm not that into it, and I don't go and seek it out. Arcane was amazing, and that's the latest, I guess, cartoon that I've watched. But I understand that Avatar is huge, and in the pandemic, it became even more huge as people ran out of things to watch and eventually started listening to their friend who had kept telling them they should watch Avatar. And there was a huge renaissance of Avatar during that time period. But even then, I think over the years, people had just kind of gone back and watched it and realized that they loved it. And from everything that I've heard, it's a great series and it's beloved. And I think there's a huge fan base. And I think it eclipses Final Fantasy's fan base. I think it eclipses Lord of the Rings fan base, and certainly Fallout, Assassin's Creed, Doctor Who, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the biggest set of the year. In fact, at this point, I'm not calling Final Fantasy the biggest set of the year. It'll be huge, but the surprise is Tarkir Dragonstorm. It is already huge, and it may itself excel past Final Fantasy. We'll have to see. It's possible Final Fantasy will be bigger than it, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I guess I want to go on record saying that Avatar is going to be even bigger than the two of them. Maybe bigger than the two of them combined. I just don't see how it's not bigger than Final Fantasy, but I could be wrong. And then there's Spider-Man to think about. Spider-Man was the most popular IP until Pokemon eclipsed it, or maybe it was just Spider-Man is the most popular superhero IP. So it's possible. Everyone could be wrong and it could just be Spider-Man, but I don't know. I think Avatar is going to be huge, and it just seems a little weird that nobody is talking about it, even though obviously Wizards hasn't put out much information. There's very little to go on, but when has that stopped people? I mean, people were talking about Final Fantasy long before anything came out about that. People were talking about Lord of the Rings before anything concrete had come out. And then sometimes even with Magic sets themselves, like especially when Ravnica sets come out, people get really buzzy about it. But for whatever reason, I guess it's too early to talk about Avatar, and people are really focused on Final Fantasy. And, even though Tarkir is in the rearview mirror, people are still kind of talking about that because it's still having effects, especially on the secondary market with single cards. So I guess that's both of those two things are eating up a lot of people's attention. And the people that talk online about various things regarding Magic. Just don't have the bandwidth to add Avatar talk into it. They got more than enough videos generated by Tarkir and Final Fantasy, maybe. And of course, a lot of the talk happens during spoiler season, and we're a long, long way away from Avatar spoiler season. So, I mean, I understand that not everybody is talking about it, but I would have expected there to be a few people once a week, once a month, or whatever, to make a video about Avatar and the speculation and, what it's going to be like. And I don't know any of the characters except, I remember some of the names, Aang, obviously, and I don't know, what was his Uncle Iroh people talk about because of this one episode where he talks about the war and his son. So some things have stuck in my head, and I guess it's kind of weird actually because there's always these people who've never watched Star Wars, but they know who Darth Vader is and Luke Skywalker and that sort of stuff. And I always thought that to be kind of weird. But I guess I have that kind of thing with Avatar that I know a little bit about it because enough people have talked about it around me that some of it has stuck in my head. But that's one of the things that a lot of people have talked to me about Avatar. And, there are people who, the minute that a Magic the Gathering Avatar set was announced, who have no interest in buying any Magic themselves, now want to buy Magic. And they haven't said that for Lord of the Rings or Final Fantasy or Assassin's Creed or even Warhammer, if you want to go back to the beginning of Universes Beyond. They were slightly interested in Dungeons and Dragons, but I just don't know. I don't know why. There's just like a little bit more nuggets of information where we can all speculate about Avatar, because I do enjoy that kind of stuff, even though I know nothing about Avatar. But anyway, are you excited about Avatar? What are you looking forward to? How do you think the set's going to play out? Obviously, this being the biggest set of the year, it's got to be a good set. So what would make it a good set in your mind? Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a good day.